Welcome back to the streets, my fake 90s babies. I'm AJ.
I'm Chris.
This week, we're swiping left on dating apps, specifically Tinder. Now that I'm single, right? My friends keep asking me, will I ever get back on Tinder or Hinge or whatever's out there? Like, what's out there? Like, Plenty of Fit? I don't know. What's out there, Christina?
Zoom University, which I've been basically begging you to join with
Oh,
me for the longest time because I'm that bored.
No, you see, she said Zoom University. I deal with Zoom every week. I'm over it. Don't want to do it.
You see, but it's not the same thing.
No, it is.
It's more fun.
It's definitely not. I can't
you get,
imagine
like,
how
people in
awkward.
the shower, you get like weird people, you get boring people sometimes. Like, you gotta take a chance and roll the dice. You never know.
Roll the dice. I don't roll nothing. There's not no barrel roll. We're not in a video game. I'm not absolutely
Barrel roll.
No, absolutely not. Even talking about dating apps gives me like war flashbacks. I feel like every horrible date I've ever been on has been through Tinder. Like, I just can't do it. I love myself too much. I refuse to ever go on like a date from there again. Now, right? Maybe I'm being a little too harsh. I could be wrong or whatever. It's been a while since I've been single, but the guys on there, Christina, right? Are they still complete dogs?
Yeah.
Like, is everyone still trying to fuck absolutely anybody who will respond to them?
I mean, I got banned from Tinder a while ago, so.
Who gets banned from Tinder?
Apparently, if you put your Venmo up there to fish for some bucks, you get reported, or, Tinder just like, oh, yeah, you would have thought. But from what I remember, yeah, like the guys are like freaking horny little dogs on there trying their best.
I'm sorry. You have your Venmo in your bio?
Yeah, I got $1 from it. Some guy wanted my number.
What's that?
And he paid me $1.
What did you think?
I don't know, but it worked. I literally got like a Venmo notification. It was like, so-and-so paid you $1. And he's like, oh yeah, maybe we can, text. You want my number? And I'm like, this boy really just paid me to get his attention.
I would have been like, it's $1 for every digit of my number that you want.
Right? Oh my God. I should have responded back with that. But like, you can't. I don't think you can message on Venmo unless you're like friends with the person. But that's what I should put. That's going to be edited into my bio once I make the new account though.
She's like, Tinder, beware. I'm coming back. And I'm coming back prepared this time. I just see, but that's the thing. Like, I can't be bothered with the online nonsense, right? I think I'm gonna stick to meeting people at like bars, like the good old days, and just,
you don't want to do that.
Like, I mean,
that just gave me like a war flashback as soon as you said that you want to meet somebody at a bar.
No.
That reminded me back to Halloween. I'm never doing that again. The bar is the worst place you can go to meet people.
There's a give and take, right? Because like there's some people that I've met, like friend-wise, right? But like never dating. Like I don't think I've ever met. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I've never met anybody through like a bar. I met somebody at a party once, but like never like a bar scene. But I guess I'm being a little too like over dramatic when it comes to like Tinder, because like I feel like if I ever was to kind of get back into the dating scene, then like maybe I'd like fuck around with Hinge, right? Because my favorite thing about Hinge is that it requires more work to be involved. You know what I mean? Like you have to answer questions. Yeah. You have like a limited amount of like what are they, like likes or whatever? So like it weeds out the weak, like, yeah,
but also at the fact that you also like you have quarantine now. Guys are getting like what's the word? They're getting like desperate, and they're just because Tinder's not doing it anymore. Because I can guarantee there's probably a lot of bots on there. All the girls are tired of their shit, so now they move on to all the other apps where you have to actually like put in some work.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well, we're gonna put in some work, and we're gonna try and get something back out of it anyway.
Are you telling me fuck boys are desperate enough to fill out questions?
They are. I've seen fuckboys on apps. I mean, I didn't pay for them, but like there are fuckboys on the apps that like they pay for that shit, and like they're still fuckboying around.
That's wild. I can't imagine just putting in that kind of effort for some WAP,
Some WAP.
For some WAP. Right. We're talking about like dating apps and all this and meeting people online. I've watched the show You. Plus, I've done like deep dive studies into the mind of Ted Bundy. And I'm going to say it right now. No fucking thank you. Absolutely. I don't trust anyone enough to meet them in person. The first couple of times, right? I did meet a few people, but they were all catfish. And that's why I don't trust them, right? They're either crazy or they're catfish. And I feel like I've been cursed. I have the Tinder curse on me.
You feel like you have the Tinder?
I'm going to have to politely decline every single invitation I get from a guy to meet up because, let me tell you, Christina. Christina. I had a Tinder date from hell. And listen, I can be dramatic. This boy, oh.
Go on, spill the tea, because I bet I can top yours.
Okay, so I'm gonna set the scene for you, right? We're gonna set the atmosphere. Right. I'm sitting there. It's in the summer, right? I think maybe a couple of years ago. I was
even asked if you had an iced coffee in your hand because you drink that shit 24/7 anyway.
Yeah, honestly. But I'm lonely. I'm on Tinder, right? It's late and I'm swiping and I can't find anyone. And I'm getting now. God. I'm setting the mood. Do you feel the mood yet? So
yes, I feel the mood loud and clear.
Do you feel the vibes? So
do you feel it now, Mr. Krabs?
Oh yeah. So I get to this guy's page and I'm like, oh, he's not exactly my type, but he's not exactly not my type, I should say. And I was like, you know when like you're on Tinder for too long that even the ugly people start to like interest you? You're like, like
lowering your standards little by little.
And like, oh, that one part of your bio was funny. Like, oh, you have a dog. That's nice. Oh, he's wearing a blue shirt. That must mean he likes the color blue. Like, we'll get along, right? Your standards get so low. So he wasn't like exactly ugly in his photo, but spoiler alert, he was the biggest catfish I've ever seen in my life. So, right, the mood is set. We matched. We were talking for a couple of months, right? Because like I said, I don't just meet anybody offline. I've seen people get snatched. So after talking to him for like a while, we had agreed to like meet up in person. So he was like asking me if he want like if he should like pick me up, and me being the smart girl, I was like, well, I don't want him knowing where I live in case he's a creep, because like that's the number one like rule of thumb, especially if it's like a first date. Like sometimes it's cool, like if you like trust them enough, but like if it's really just some like rando, definitely meet them there. So obviously that's what I told him. I'm like, no, it's fine, like we just meet in the middle. We agreed whatever on a time, place, as you do, wham next. So God, I'm getting like my heart is like pumping. Like, do you see how I have to stop every time? Like this boy, Chris, was not only late by like 40 minutes, and I'm just like standing on the boardwalk just waiting for this kid to show up, right? Not only a complete catfish, he was like a whole like 6 inches shorter than what he had. like I should have known the second he said he was a photography major. Like his photo looked nothing like him. When I say absolutely night and day, I've never seen this man a day in my life. Like, oh no, he comes out of nowhere, like randomly from behind me to, I guess, like surprise me or whatever, be cute. He calls me by the wrong name. Like, granted, he said Angelica, right? So it wasn't that far off, but my dude, come on. You're telling me in the time, like, because we talked for like, I think like maybe like 3 months, like roughly, right? Before we met up. And you're telling me this whole time you thought my name was Angelica? Like, did you not look at my profile? Like, I don't.
So he's a catfish and he was blind.
Right? Like, come on. So if my profile said, like, I'm pretty sure like my profile said AJ. So you would think one would naturally assume to just keep it in your phone as AJ, like AJ Tinder. Or like, and when you meet me, call me AJ, right? Because if that's the name you know me as, that's the name that's on my profile. Anyone would like put 2 and 2 together and like, yeah. Oh, this man tried to assume my name, right? Because he was like, oh, I didn't want to call you AJ because that's not like, there's no way that could be your real name.
But it's on your social media. It's everywhere you look on you. It's always AJ. The audacity with the stupidity of this boy is like,
why not just play it safe and call me AJ? Like, if you don't remember, because I remember telling him my real name. Wait, why not just play it safe and call me AJ? You know what I mean? Like, if you were just gonna do a shot in the dark, don't do it. So on top of that, right, calls me the wrong name, and I'm like, so I laugh it off. That's like the general theme of this whole story, is that I'm laughing this off. I tell him, right, my name's Angelina. This man, right, has the fucking audacity to start telling me I'm wrong about my own name. My own fucking name. I'm wrong. I said this last week, I'll say it again. If men have anything, it's the goddamn audacity. So I let it go, right? Everyone makes mistakes. I was like, it's just one thing. It's just a name. It's not the end of the world, right? Thinking back on it, I should have went home. Like right after that, like the second he said Angelica, the second he was like 40 minutes late, I should have dipped.
But then didn't you text me like that little like didn't you text me like a whole bunch of emojis to like get you home or some shit like that? Or did you like write it out that day?
That was for a different day. I was being so nice. I was like, oh, because maybe he was just nervous. You know, like I was like coming up with all these excuses in my head. I was like, oh no, he's nervous. It's first date, whatever. I should have left, right? He's 40 minutes late. Call me the wrong name. I'm an idiot. So it just keeps getting worse and worse. At no point does this story get better. So just it's only downhill from here. At one point, right, he was talking about like types of food. You know, like you're just getting to know people and stuff like that. And then he goes to me, he's like listing all these things, and he's like, oh, don't worry, I love Mexican food too. And just gives me like a look.
Oh,
like,
no.
What? And then I realized he thought I was Mexican. So again, right, my general theme, I'm laughing it off. And I told him, no, I'm Puerto Rican, but like, yeah, Mexican food's pretty dope. And he goes, isn't that like the same thing though? I was like, well, no, not exactly.
We need to check up. I kind of want to like follow up with this dude and see how he's doing
in a full-blown relationship. Like he's like for like years now. Like ever since then, he's been with this girl, and like good for him because I was never gonna treat him right. Not after this date. But wait, when I tell you it gets worse, it gets even right. So right now he's like Mexican, Puerto Rican, same thing. I'm like, no, it's not. He's like, okay, sure, my bad. As long as you weren't French, God, do I hate them? They're fucking gross, right? And this is the point where I had to be like, well, I'm half French. His fucking face dropped. Like, the redness, like, overtook his entire, and he was pale. Every part of him was just red. And you would think, at that point, AJ, leave. Like, get out. And no, what did I do? I was like, people have their moments. We're going to ride this out. We're going to stick to it. So I stay. And then he like tries to change the subject. We're talking about all these different like things or whatever. And then I think at like one point we even bring up like music, right? Because a general topic. And you would assume it'd be safe. Wrong, right? Not when it comes to him. He was bitching, right? About like EDM, like, and all those like, you know how it's like techno and stuff like that, like it's coming back and dubstep and whatnot. He was like, oh, how he really hates it. It's just a bunch of sounds. It's not real music. And like, okay, fine. Everyone has their opinion. But then he goes, people who like shuffle are retarded. And I'm like, I don't shuffle. But for context, my older brother is he's on a professional shuffle team. So like now I'm having to laugh it off again and explain to him that, oh, although you just called them retarded, my brother's a professional dancer for like this team that like travels around. And he again, right, is apologizing. He's red again.
He was just not his day. That was just,
but wait, there's more.
Billy Mays, is that you?
At this point, right, I'm afraid to bring up any kind of conversation, but like he has no problem, right? He got a little embarrassed and like he's red. Now he's back to pale and boom, we're back, baby. So he brings up movies. And I think you can like kind of tell where this is going. Fast forward a little bit, right? So he's saying now Harry Potter is like the worst movie. He'll never watch it. And it's made for kids. And anyone who's not a kid and watches it is like immature as hell and they need to grow up.
Okay, AJ, grow up. I grow up now.
I gotta grow up. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, right? I have it tattooed on me. A fact that he knows, right? Because we talked about it once, like through like text messages. So but then again, he also forgot my name. So who am I to assume that he remembers that?
Yeah, wrong girl he was thinking of.
I was like, hey, do you want to see one of my tattoos? Like instead of just saying like I was like, hey, do you want to like look at my tattoos? And he's like, yeah, pretty dope. Like thinking I'm changing. I'm like, look at my Harry Potter tattoo, dude. He could not catch a fucking break, right? And it's this.
Maybe he did that purposely. That's why he showed up like 40 minutes late.
No,
and just, like, not
no. And that's what I thought. Like,
other than that, like he really wanted to come for your life.
Bro, every little thing it was like obviously gave him a lot of chances, but like every time I gave him a chance, he was there the next 10 minutes with something else. And I remember, bro, I gotta skip it because there's so much stuff that happened. Like we would be here all night, and by the end of the day, right? He's like, at this point, I think we met up at like sometime around like 7. It's now like 1 a.m., right? I put up with him for that much, right? Like I was a trooper. I did it for the girls. I was like, I'm really going to try this out. It didn't work. It's 1 a.m. He's like, let me drive you home, right? It's 1 a.m. I'm like, no, that's okay. I'd really rather just walk or Uber. And he goes, no, I'm not gonna, like, I'm not gonna let you walk. It gets late. And I'm like, hey, you know what? You're right. I'm not gonna walk. I'm just gonna Uber. And I kept like pressing the fact. And he like kept me there. And every time I went to take out my phone, he like, no. Like he put his hand over my phone and be like, no. Like, I'll drive you. It's okay. I'm like, no, it's okay. And this man has the audacity to feel proud after that train wreck of a date. He was like, I've really enjoyed today. Like he was already trying to plan date 2, right? Like as we're there, as I'm waiting for my Uber, he's like, are you free tomorrow? Let's do this. Are you down for that? I've never dodged a question so fast in my life. Like I ran, like he kept going on and on about like everything. And like, he was just like, oh, I can tell we had a great time tonight. Like, I'm really good at reading people. I'm good at reading the room. I had to humble my boy. I was like, I hit him with actually, I'm a really great people person. So you really wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And he was like, oh, cool, but like not with me, right? And I was like, I just stared at him and like not like that. You know, the emoji with like the 2 eyes and the fucking line. That's the energy I gave him. Like, finally my Uber comes, right? And this boy, so he, like, I can tell he's trying to like grab me for like a kiss. Bitch, I ran. Like, I speed walked to that car, got in, shut the door, right? And I lowered the window to tell him bye. He goes, oh, you got in so fast, haha. Like, he's laughing. He's like, I didn't even get a chance to kiss you goodnight. And I was like, oh, no, that's okay, but thanks. And I rolled the fucking window up as he's just there. And I told my driver, he's like, oh, do you want, I was like, drive. And my driver is trying so hard to keep it together at this point. In the end, right? In the end, I ghosted him. Right? No, he kept hitting me up for weeks after that. But that right there is the prime example of why I don't go out with guys from Tinder.
Yeah, my story tops yours either way.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me let's go. Top me. Oh, wait. She's on top? Ooh.
Always. So was it back in high school? I want to say this was before we graduated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we were juniors, I want to say.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I met you like the ending of sophomore. So yeah, we were juniors, and I had a boyfriend at the time, and things were going pretty good. I think we were together for maybe like a couple of months at this point, and I didn't have Tinder on my phone. There was no reason for. I think actually no, was it Hot or Not back then?
I think so. Yeah, it was like
I think it was Hot or Not back then. Yeah. Oh my God.
Hot or Not, we're old. No.
I don't. It was one of the two. It was either Hot or Not or Tinder. One of the two.
I believe it was Hot or Not. Because it had like had the black screen and stuff like that. Yeah, that was Hot or Not.
Yeah. Okay, so it was Hot or Not. And I didn't have it on my phone, but my boyfriend that I was dating at the time happened to download it and made an account for me and ended up talking this guy into coming through to Staten Island to come hang out with us. So he made like this Tinder account for me. I don't know what he was trying to do or whatnot, but like I wasn't really having it. Like I felt so awkward. Like he invited him down and everything, and I don't even think the kid even knew that like I had a boyfriend. He just thought he was just coming to meet me, and it was me, AJ, and my boyfriend at the time, and it was him. This boy came from Jersey. Yeah.
Wasn't there a whole group of us that day? It wasn't just us. It was like, I think Ray was also there. Like, it was like a whole, group of us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's right. It was like all of our friends at the time. So, like, all of our friends at the time were there. And, well, towards the end of the night, it ended up just being like the 3 of us. I left you guys with him. But, like, I kind of.
Yeah, the 3 of us. Me, Mark, and him.
I felt so bad because, like, he literally catfished this guy so goddamn hard. He comes to the island. He didn't even know that I was even in a relationship. He just knew that he was there to see me. And then I broke it to him like later on, telling him like, yeah, that's my boyfriend. And I felt so bad. And like towards the end of the night, like I couldn't even deal with it anymore. Like he wanted me to kiss him, and it was just freaking hell. Yeah. And he, so like I had to like go home at like one point in the night, and I felt bad too because like he came from Jersey, and to get from Jersey to Staten Island like through public transportation, that's a pain in the ass because you have to take like the path into the city and then come from the city into Staten Island. It's ridiculous. So I felt bad that he already like came out for it. But yeah, my ex set me up on Tinder. Well, not Hot or Not. And had the guy come out and meet me, and I just kind of stuck him with AJ and my boyfriend at the time because I had to go home. I was like, yeah, just walk him to the bus stop, he'll be fine. I gotta go. See you guys later. Like, I don't know.
He wouldn't
leave at all.
After that, we were out there with him till like 2 a.m. and I was like, dude, I got high school tomorrow. I gotta go home. He was just there. He was like, oh, bro, but I came all this way. And then her boyfriend, like her ex, whatever, he was like, oh, yeah, we can hang out for a little bit longer. And I'm like, no, dude, I gotta go. And he was like, don't leave me alone with him. And I was like, you leave me alone. Like, let's go then. Like, bus after bus kept coming. And he just refused to get on them. He's like, I'll catch the next one. I'm having fun. And I'm like, I'm not. Like,
should have told him that like the last bus came at like a certain time. Oh my
God, I wanted to murder you that night.
But it wasn't my fault. I told him I had to go at a certain time. Like, I'm sorry, I had strict parents, so I had a curfew. What was it, like 10 o'clock or something? And I went home and I told him, I was like, all right, I'm out at 10. And I thought he was leaving. Come to find out later on that he ended up staying till like 2 o'clock in the morning. But I'm like, you know what? And like, my boyfriend at the time didn't want to be left alone with him. But you know what? That's what you get for trying to catfish somebody. So like, I don't know what he was thinking, like a one-night stand threesome or something. Like, I don't know what he thought he was going to get out of that.
Threesomes, one-night stands, take me back. Since you brought it up, right? Can we talk about it for a second? One-night stands just got 10 times harder because of this pandemic, right? Because not only are you dodging STDs, but now you're dodging Rona as well. Like that. How are we surviving, ladies? Because, like, how do people have sex at this time? Like, do you just go to are you still sleeping with random strangers? I guess I'm trying to ask. And if you are you wearing a mask? Are you?
I don't think the mask really counts because, like, I mean, you can have a mask on, you're not breathing in each other's faces, but, like, you're touching, like, their body and they're all sweaty and gross. And, like, I think the only way for you to have sex with somebody, you gotta wrap them up in saran wrap. Like plastic.
One human
and then, like,
condom.
Yeah, actually, you go on Amazon, they have those.
Stop it.
You get like a human-sized condom.
Oh my God, I want one for scientific reasons, not for anything else. No.
You know what? Fuck the Scooby Gang, but that's about what we're dressing up for Halloween.
All human condoms. Yes, I'm living for that.
That's exactly what we're gonna do.
No, but what I'm asking this, right? Because not only am I'm a little sex deprived at the moment, but Rona, right? Being that she's this all-killing virus, right? Because it has to be a she, it's not a he. And maybe it's the he because the audacity of this goddamn pandemic. So you know what? I'm switching it. Rona, the male, right? In this instance, right? In this particular situation, in this weird point in all our lives, am I allowed to hit up my ex for a late night meeting? You know?
No.
Wait, hear me out, right? Wait,
no.
But hear me out.
No.
Wait.
No.
Wait. Please.
No.
Listen.
No. No.
So,
you all know what happened last time. No.
Wait, listen, because he's the only person I know for a fact that doesn't have it, right? So, like, I know I won't get it from him.
I know somebody. I can literally
no.
phone number right now.
Listen, I know that nobody should hit there.
Live right by him. He's good. Go to him.
I understand that people shouldn't hit up their exes. I'm hearing you. I'm with you. I stand with you.
No, you're not. Then why are you going back to it if you understand it?
This has to PEMDAS out somehow. Like, math, please. Like, there's like a pecking order.
You have the fucking audacity. Are you kidding me? The shit that's coming out of your mouth right now?
Because here's the thing. One, like I said, I know for a fact he doesn't have Rona. And two, I know for a fact he doesn't have any STDs, right? Because he's the last person I slept with. I'm the last
like I said, human condom.
No, right? I'm not trying to sleep with any of my friends. I'm not down for it. No offense. I'm not, like, physically attractive to any one of y'all. Male, female, no pots or pans are giving me the amount of pleasure that I need in my life, right? But also, I've sworn off myself for, like, all of eternity when it comes to, like, that kind of solution. Like, I will never be the type to, like, I don't know, like, hit you or, like, Gabe up late night and be like, I don't know, if you're down, I'm down, just kidding, unless, you know what I mean? Like, I will never bring myself to that point. So, like, can exes just be, like, hook up buddies with no strings attached? If you say no, I'll riot. That's it. I'm rioting.
There's already been a string attached, and that string is still dangling. So,
all right, but like, what if
hard red stop?
Like, no romantic feelings, just like hit it, quit it, get out of my room, kind of situation.
No.
Come on. I feel like you're being a little too strict about this.
I'm being too strict because it's happened before and I'm not going through that again with you.
Yeah, but like this time I'll be in control of what's happening, right? Because like before it was kind of finicky, but now
weren't in control last time.
No. This time is different, okay?
Yeah, uh-huh.
This time.
Yeah, totally is different.
Okay, so I guess that's a
Get
no.
on your freaking knees and go pray to Christian, all right? Not you damn
I
ex.
want to get down on my knees for both.
Yeah. No!
Speaking about friends, right? Sleeping with friends in particular, it's not a good idea, right?
No, it's not.
Oh, she got serious.
No. It's not. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Just sleep with your ex because sleeping with friends is so much more worse.
It really is, though.
She's like tearing up. Do you hear it? I was like,
there.
I just stopped. I was like, is she crying?
You see, the thing about, sleeping with your friends, you just don't sleep with somebody if you don't plan on being with them or if you're just planning on ghosting them afterwards. That's the only way to do it.
Christina. Oh, I'm sorry. I had something in my throat.
Shut the fuck up. Like, you see, if you plan on one night standing them, go right ahead. Do you. If they're friends in the friend group, bad idea. And don't try to be friends with them afterwards, especially if you're not looking for anything. Take it from experience. Do not fucking do it.
You take your own goddamn advice. How about that one?
I did. I learned my lesson, and I am preaching to whoever needs to hear it. Take it from goddamn experience. Do not do it.
I think we all need to know this story, right? Because we all need to learn, if not from our own mistakes,
about the
from
kid who thought I had
mistakes.
Tourette's, right? He thought, okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys how I met this kid, right? So our friend Gabe, he had a birthday at this restaurant or whatever. So, I went, we had some fun. And there was this waiter, right? The lights were low, so I thought he was hot as shit. So honestly, if I'm being like completely honest, I think I gave my number to the wrong waiter because when I met up with him later on, that wasn't the guy I was thinking of. I mean, the kid's nice. He really is. He's a sweetheart.
Yeah. One of the really dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, he really is a sweetheart. Sometimes hyper, but like that's him.
We vibe.
We vibe. We all like he's basically we all vibe together.
Yeah.
So I gave him my number and like it started going good and we were just hanging out and we were friends with benefits or whatever without really actually saying it, I guess. I mean, I don't know. So I go over his house one night and we were watching Rick and Morty. The new season just happened to come out. This was like last year. And, we're all, like, we're just kind of, like, chilling together. We're on his bed just vibing. And, like, when you see something funny, like, you're watching a TV show, it's not funny enough to, like, let off, like, that, like, you just kind of, like, let that extra air out of your nose.
Like that.
Yeah. Like, that's exactly, yeah, it was just, like, that little, tiny little squeak laugh or whatever. I don't know what the hell you want to call it.
Yeah.
It happens a couple of times, but, like, I wasn't expecting him to be, like, paying attention to it. Because that's what he was doing. So he looks down at me after like some point. He goes, "Do you have Tourette's?" And I'm like, "What?" And I sat up and I'm like, "Huh?" He's like, "Yeah, like that that ticking thing that you're doing. Like your body's like ticking."
What?
And I'm like, "What? No." And I'm like, "No, I don't have Tourette's." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had it." Like he got all embarrassed. And I'm like, "Oh my freaking God." Like he really thought like I had Tourette's and he was like, "No, it's okay." Like he was like ready to like comfort me over it and like everything.
I would have disappeared in thin air.
I wanted to. Oh my God. Like I wanted to so bad. And like I didn't even know like how to respond after that. Like it was wild. Another thing was that, like we slept together a couple of times, whatever, fine. But I started noticing that like because like me and him had like a talk and I told him, I said, "I'm not ready for a relationship. I mean, if you want to just do it like that, I'm okay with that. But I don't want a relationship. I don't want any strings attached. Like it's just like if you want to hang out, we can be friends. Like that's perfectly fine." Take from experience, it's a bad idea. Don't ever do that. So a while goes by and now I start noticing like he's like trying to kiss me hello and goodbye. He's calling me babe and I'm like, I didn't know I got a boyfriend. Like, what? Okay, that's a new thing. But like I told him to stop. Like I sat him down, I had to talk with him again. I told him, I said this needs to stop. So now another one of our friends was on the island and he went to an engagement party or whatever. So it was up by this bar that's by me, well, where AJ used to live. But by me and AJ called the Goat. And I was hanging out with him and this was kind of recent. She was actually in the UK, I think. Yeah, you were in the UK. And I was hanging out with my friend Danny. So now this other kid, the kid, hits me up and he says, "Hey, what are you doing?" So I told him, I said, I'm at the Goat. Like with can't speak. I'm at an engagement party right now at the Goat. He's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I just got off work. I was gonna go hang out with my coworkers. We're gonna go to some bar that was like all the way on the other side of the island. He's like, are you still gonna be at the Goat? So I said, no, we're probably gonna be leaving soon. So he's like, yeah, I'll let you know. So now we're getting ready to leave. Now we're going back to Danny's house, or I forgot whose house it was. I was like kind of fucked up. So now this kid texts me again. He says, oh, I'm at the Goat. Are you still here? And I'm like, you were going to a bar that was like by your house. He literally went like all the way across the island to like come see me. I guess he just wanted to hang out. So I told Danny, and like I started getting uncomfortable there anyway. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna go back to the Goat. I'm gonna go meet up with a friend. So he's like, yeah, no problem, have fun. I get to the Goat. And there he was at the bar with his little coworkers, and I said hi, and I said hi back. Getting him comfy. So, I take a seat next to him, and he gives me a hug, hello, and now he goes in for a kiss. So I'm like, fuck my life. And I'm like, I'm not fighting with him, and I'm drunk, and I'm not too drunk to deal with this. So I just give him a kiss, like, hello. And I'm like, I'm just going to talk to him about this tomorrow again because I'm just tired of it. And I forgot what they were talking about, but like he was kind of like sitting to the side on his phone, and him and his coworkers, me and him, his coworkers were like talking, and I cracked a joke and they started laughing. So this guy started laughing again, and he put his arm on me. He's like, yeah, this is why we're together. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, wait a second. Oh, so while I was at the party at my other friend's house, I ended up getting this guy's number there. So like, I thought this whole time I'm thinking I'm single. So I looked at him and I'm like,
I'm not single.
Yeah, like I'm looking at him and I'm like, since when are we together? Because I told shit. I was like, I just got a guy's number at a party I was just at. So you want to tell me when that happened? When I'm drunk, I tell shit straight out. I don't sugarcoat nothing. So like, especially like if I'm in a bad mood, nope. So he was like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. I just thought, I meant like you're my girl. And I'm like, I'm your girl? Like, what? And I'm like, no, like, we're not dating. He's like, no, I know that. But like, he got like all embarrassed and like flustered and everything. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I just wanted to die. And then I called it quits and I was like, all right, I'm going to go home. And I was going to walk. But then he ended up driving me home. And I was like, I just want to get the hell out of the car. He ended up giving me another kiss goodbye in the car. And this went on for like a while. And no matter how many times I talked to him, like he would just be like in a relationship, right? Like he would think that like he would be doing that stuff. Like you don't say you want to be fuck buddies with somebody and then try to act like you want a whole relationship with them.
Facts.
Like that's the whole thing. So now recently he ended up getting into a predicament with somebody else that actually he was going through the same exact thing with this other person. This other person was texting him and calling him like all these names and wanting to get with him, and he was just not having it. He didn't want it. I threw him his ass on the phone with AJ. I was like, you take care of that because I'm gonna say something that's not gonna want to be said. And like karma's a bitch because honestly, like that same situation that he was going through, I think it finally opened up his eyes to realize that like what he was doing to me is getting done to him now. And like ever since that, like it's been pretty good. Like we went to AC the other night and like we were pretty chill, so it was pretty good. So yeah,
he stopped the bullshit.
Yeah, he stopped the bullshit. I think that's what it took.
Oh my God, I love it when men learn their lessons.
So if you're listening to this, sorry, not sorry, you had to hear it.
Oh my God, no, but you're really chill despite what she said, and we still enjoy hanging out with you.
No, I'm not saying you're a bad. You're not a bad person at all. You're a sweetheart. It's just sometimes you got to take a step back and look at the big picture.
Oh no.
Okay, so speaking of the Goat, right? So go on the bar thing. This is the last story, I swear. And like, holy crap! You see, this is why I don't trust any Italians on Staten Island. Y'all are all trash. I'm Italian myself, so don't come for me. I'm 100%, so don't come for me. I could say it. Y'all are trash. That's it. Y'all think you are it. Like that's it. Like, and that goes for mostly all of you guys, but whatever. While we were at the Goat, it was Halloween, and it was me, AJ, our friend Gingy, and our friend Danny was with us too, right?
No, it was just me, you, and Gingy.
Okay, yeah. So it was us two and our friend Gingy, and we were at the bar at the Goat, having fun or whatever. This guy came over to me, and he was like trying to like touch me and feel me up or whatever. So I was like, I need to get away from him. So I went outside to go smoke, and him and his buddies like ganged up on me or whatever. So now this other guy ends up coming out to I guess save me, the damsel in distress. Like I could have easily whatever.
Yeah.
So They finally go away, and now I'm talking to this guy, and you know, like he seems like really interesting. This guy was a Guido. I don't care what anybody says. He had the slick back jet black hair, the he was just like that.
She said chef kiss, bitch.
So I mean, like he was good looking. He had that accent. Oh my god. So now we swapped numbers and we hit it off like really well. Like we ended up like hitting off like really, really well. So we go home and a couple of days go by and he texts me. This was like the first red flag I should have listened to. He texted me at 11 o'clock at night asking me to hang out. So I was like, you know what? I'm bored. I want to go hang out. And I was on the phone with her too. I was like, I've never gotten my hair and my makeup done. How long did it take me? Like 30 minutes, not even.
Yeah.
Finished. Like I was ready to go.
She ran out that door.
I ran out that door. I was like, yes. So I get in the car, he picks me up and he's like, so I told him, I asked him, I said, where are we off to? So he's like, oh, we're going to go to PAX Casino. So I was like, oh, and where is that? He's like, I think it's by Philly or something like that. It was in PA. So I was like, okay, sure. So it was only like an hour drive away, an hour and a half. And as we're on the way there, I don't even know where to start. Like the things that he was doing. Oh my God. Every time I try to pull my phone out to text either AJ or one of my friends, as he's driving, he would literally shift his body to me to look over my shoulder to look at my phone to see who I was texting. And then he goes, oh, what are you calling out for help?
Yes.
And I'm like, am I supposed to right now? Because I thought things were going good, but all right. So now he tells me that he doesn't know how to work Amazon. He doesn't know how to work this techo shit or whatever, but yet he's driving, one hand's on the wheel, phone in the face, just scrolling through Facebook. Not even like checking a message to see like if it was your mother, okay, fine, like read it, but like don't pull out your phone and start going through Facebook, get bored of that, then scroll through Instagram and go through that while he's driving. Mind you, it was 11 o'clock at night. We're driving through Jersey and PA. There's no street lights like on either side of the highway. So like it's pitch black out. We were in the left lane. We started off in the left lane. And as he's scrolling, the car was like drifting to like the right side of the I shit you not, the car was drifting to the right side of the highway. Like, I grabbed the wheel and he got mad at me. And he's like, no, like I got it. And I'm like, I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna die. So we get to the casino. He actually showed me like how to play like the cards and like I've never looked back. But we got to the casino. We actually had a lot of fun. I won. It was fun. It was great. Yay, now we're on our way home. So this is where the uncomfy part gets.
I'm uncomfy.
I'm very uncomfortable with the energy we created in the studio today. Holy crap. So we're on our way home and it's like about an hour and a half drive and I started getting uncomfortable because as we're driving, right, the kid can't drive for shit. He could be looking dead straight at the road and we are swerving all over the place. So that was number one. I feared my life that night, not from him or what he was going to do to me or what he tried to do with me, but like the fact that I almost died in a car accident multiple times. So there's that. I think I was more worried about that than anything else.
Yeah.
So now he pushes his seat back a little bit as he's driving and he takes his fucking belt off. So I'm like, oh, this is not going on. This is not happening. This is not happening. This is not happening. Nope, nope, nope. And he looks at me and I guess he saw like the uncomfortableness on my face and he's like, oh no, it was digging into my stomach. I had to take it off. And he like let out a breath. So my dumbass believes. I was like, oh, okay, I could see that happening. Then he proceeds to hold his hand. He keeps looking at me. Like, and now he's looking at the road, looking at me, looking at the road, looking at me. And I'm like, can I help you? And he's like, are those tits real? And I'm like, excuse me? And he's like, I've never seen tits that big before. Can I feel them? And I'm like, are you, like, I'm thinking to myself, like, this kid is not fucking serious right now. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, no, like, what? And then he goes and he sticks his hand in my shirt and starts feeling my boob. I mean, I have big tits, all right? But, like, they were not out. Like, so I was not showing any cleavage that night. So, like, he's, like, feeling my boobs up, and I smacked his hand away. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? He's like, oh, my God, they're so soft. Like, there's no way. Are those really real? I'm like, yes, they're real. Even like, why are you fucking touching me? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about that. So now we're driving in silence. Now he proceeds to fucking unbutton his pants, and he was literally trying to like take his pants off because he thought that I was gonna give him roadhead on the way home, that I was fighting with him over it. Like we straight up had an argument about it, and I was like, "Why do you want that so bad?" He's like, "Well, I'm just gonna tell you straight up, I'm not gonna date a girl if she can't give good head." And I'm like, "Are this?"
I was criteria.
I was like, "Is this boy fucking serious right now?" And he had the audacity to get mad at me because I told him no. Like, he threw, like, those little, like, the little 5-year-old, like, the temper tantrums that they do. Like, he threw a temper tantrum because I refused to give him roadhead. Now we get back to my house. He freaking grabs me by the back of my head, starts shoving his tongue down my throat. So now I push him off. I'm like, all right, I'm getting out of the car. So now he looks at me with the nastiest look, reaches over and opens the door for me and like basically pushes me out of the car.
Oh my
Because
God.
I wouldn't hook up with him. I wouldn't give him roadhead. And then the best is like, as I'm about to close the door, he leans over and he's like, wait, Christina. And I'm like, what? And he goes, am I going to see you again? And I'm like, no. And he's like, but like, okay, I'm sorry, you know, I didn't mean to be like a dick or whatever, but you know, sex is just really important to me. You know, I'll give you another chance if you have sex with me at the next date. And I'm like,
You're
what?
giving me another.
Oh, what? You'll give me another chance? I'm like, no, honey, your number is getting blocked now. I closed the door and I walked inside. I was like, oh my God. That was like, I think the worst experience I've ever freaking had of like, and like that, the fact that like, that sounds like something from like a Tinder thing, but no, that was from, oh my God. It was so bad. And like, I think you were sleeping, but I know I blew your phone up that whole night. But like every time I would try to text you, because me and AJ have this system, right? If we go on like a blind date or like we're going on a date or something like that, we always keep our phones on us. So we have this system where we'll text somebody because like you can't say like, you know, like perfect example was this guy, he kept reading over my shoulder.
Yeah.
So we would text each other like a random emoji and like nothing else, just like random emojis, and that's how you know, all right, call the person, get them out of that situation. Like I'll call her and be like, hey, where are you? I need to come get you. Your mom needs you, or something happened. And
yeah, we just play it smart, you know.
Yeah. So like, well, we have like a system like that. I'm trying to text her, and he wanted to take my phone from me because he's like, oh, you're calling out for help. I'm like, yes, the fuck, I am calling out for help. Like, are you kidding me right now?
He said, none of that. Gimme.
Seriously.
He said, you got games on your phone?
He's like, oh, how many people do you talk to? And he was getting annoyed with it. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I'm trying to distract myself. Ugh. Jesus Christ. If y'all want to try and get with a girl, that is not the way. Don't ever do that shit. Oh my God. It was so bad. So, all right. Well, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. I'm at csev97. Angelina, what's yours?
It's at Angelina_MNDZ.
All right. Before we cut the mics, I just wanted to let you know that we heard you, and the 1997 is on YouTube as well. Just search 1997. Make sure you are filtering to channels at the top. While you are also there, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an episode. We're the 1997. Until Friday, peace out.